Hi guys, my name is Megan and today I've got my January TBR for you. Alright, so it is January, it's the start of a new year. I will have a reading goal video, probably the next video after this, I think is when that's going up. So keep an eye out for that if you want, or if you're interested in my reading goals for the year. Otherwise, let's go ahead and just dive into the books that I'm planning to read this month because I might have been a little too ambitious, but I'm trying to capitalize on all of the reading energy that I had in December and make it last. So let's go ahead and dive in. Alright, so first up, like always, we're going to talk about the ebooks that I have planned for this month, which there are quite a few, and I feel like it's a little ambitious, but I'm also whatever gets read. Or the first ebook that I'm planning to read is Us. This is the second book in the Him series, and it is a hockey romance following two hockey players that were childhood best friends going to a summer hockey camp. They had a falling out, and then years later they meet back up at the same hockey camp as instructors, and like they hit it off again and have this beautiful summer romance, which turns into more, and like I'm here for it. So that's what's going on in this book, like the more, if you will. So I'm really excited to dive into this. Also the first hockey romance of the year, which I'm excited about. Next up I have Hen Case. This is book 4 in the Necessary Evil series. This one is following Asa, who is one of the twins, and Zane, who is a crime reporter who may have or may not have caught on to the Mulvaneys and their little serial killing thing that they have going on, or like their murder for hire thing that they've got going on. And I'm really excited to see how this one goes. Also, I've heard some really great things. Excited to dive into this. It's gonna be so good. Okay, so next up I have a newer release. This one, like the cover immediately caught my eye. It is Last Courtesan of Olympus. This one is definitely not for those under 18, so just putting that out there. This, I forget the character's name, but they are like an acolyte of Aphrodite, and he gets chosen because he's very good at what he does and is brought to Olympus to be for the gods. And I'm here for it. It looks amazing, and like the cover sold me on it. And then the last ebook that I have planned for January is Omega's Forever Home. This one is also not for those under 18. This is an Omegaverse book, and to be honest, I've completely forgotten what this one is about at this point because I think I got this one in 2021. I think the main character is working for the summer in a beach town where there's a lot of very billionaires, millionaires, that kind of thing, like a very rich area, and they're working there for the summer. So interested. We'll see how it goes. Because I have really liked this author's other works that I've read, so. Okay, so those are the ebooks that I have planned. Now we're on to the physical TBR. The first two books of which are Briar's book and Deja's book. This is book 3 and 4 in the Circle of Magic series. And this one I do have the individual copies for each of them, which is really funny because I still have the price stickers on them from when I bought them way back in 2004 and 2005. So at a bookstore that does not exist anymore, which I'm really sad about. So these are just a continuation of the Circle of Magic. Briar's book, I know, deals with a pandemic. So if you're going to read this series, please just be forewarned going into it that book 4 does deal with a pandemic epidemic. And it could be a little triggering, especially after, you know, having come out of / still in the COVID-19 pandemic. So just be forewarned. Next up I have Gear Breakers. This is one that was on so many TBRs last year, and I did already kind of start this book. I was about 25 pages in, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm ready to dive back in. So this is kind of like Pacific Rim meets Gundam Wing and kind of its own thing. There's a group of people trying to destroy all of these giant mechas, and I'm here for it. Okay, next up we have one of the first graphic novels / manga that I'm reading this month, and that is The Dragon's Betrothed. This is by one of my favorite mangaka, Meguro Hinahara, and she wrote the Therapy Game series as well as Secret XXX, which for some of my favorite manga. So this is following a troubled writer, and he's having trouble like getting his thoughts out on paper and like writing his book. So he's just gonna go home and see if the mountain air will help him get back his writing mojo. And when he gets there, he finds out that he has been betrothed to a local god who happens to be a dragon, because I think he rescued him or protected him somehow when he was a kid, and like that made a betrothal. I don't know. I'm just here for it because dragons, and also by one of my favorite mangaka, so Yes, please. The next book that I'd like to try to get to is Fake Dates and Mooncakes. This is relatively short. I'm kind of shocked that it's this short. This is following two rivals in a mooncake competition at the Mid-Autumn Festival. I'm here for it because it's a little bit Romeo and Juliet-esque. It's a little bit enemies to lovers. And who couldn't resist this cover, because this cover with this color palette is just eye-catching, and yes please. My next manga for this month is I'm Kinda Chubby and I'm Your Hero. This is following Ponjiro, who is a rookie actor and is trying his best to land a breakout role, but he fears that his weight will stand out, or make him stand out in a not so good way. And one day he gets some fan mail that's full of sweets, and it's a package from a local pastry chef who is a really big fan of his, and like, yes, I'm here for this. It's so sweet. It just, look at the cover, it just looks so sweet. And then the last book that I have planned for the month that I may or may not get to is diving back into A Psalm for the Wild-Built, because I think I got to 50 pages in and I just kind of put it aside because I wasn't feeling it at the time, so I think I'm finally ready to dive back in. Alright, so those are all of the things that I have planned to read for January. Alright, so what is something that you guys are planning to read this month? Let me know down below. If you guys like this video, don't forget the like button. If you haven't already but would like to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media for more bookish stuff, check out the links down below. Alrighty, bye guys!